live video in a long time, so thank you for those who will be watching this now and later on. And also, I just got out of virtual church, so I've just been a little bit late today with today's video. But listen, I want to talk to you guys. This is very important. You really need to know this. I'm going to give you my perspective on what I'm seeing. And I'm going to give a lot of different opinions. And again, they're just my opinions. But I'm trying to give you guys a bigger picture of what I'm seeing in the Ukraine war and all those different things, how it's impacting the currency markets, and what can you do about it. So I'm going to give you several different opinions. And again, I'm just telling you ahead of time, they are just my opinions. Okay, they're just my opinions. I don't want no political fallout. I don't want them freezing my bank accounts or anything else. It's just me trying to work through things as a person who invests in the markets to see what's the best direction to go to protect my family and to make money in these markets. Okay, as I'm working through my thoughts with you, I want you to just digest what I'm saying and see if it makes sense, and then you'll see why I'm telling you what I'm telling you, okay? Now, before I do that, I have to make a couple of things. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving financial advice. Number two, and this is big before I even move forward, this is real big. I will never ask you to send me any Bitcoin to trade for you and all these different things. There's this guy out there trying to impose as he's Uncle P and this and that. If I ever have anything that I want to announce, you will see my face and you will hear me say it, such as the new software, the enhancement software. It will be out in the next 2 weeks. I will do a video and invite you so you can see it. Okay, so anybody who's contacting you, private messaging you, saying that they're Uncle P, it's a lie. Okay, all right, now let's move on. Here's the deal. Some of you guys have been trying to do some trades on the euro and the GBP, and I'm just going to start with those. Okay, I'm going to start with those, and let's throw in gold while we're at it, and let's throw in the AUD and the NZD while we're at it. So let's throw in the whole market, basically, huh? So here's the point. Let me walk you through my thought process on what I'm seeing in the markets, and I do have my charts, and you can kind of see it here. This little arching rainbow right here. This, if you go to your charts, this one right here that's behind you, you will see that the arrow came in on our simplicity system on the 4-hour time frame. This is the Euro AUD on the 4-hour time frame. But you see that this thing is just in an unnatural rainfall position. So why is it that the euro, and I'll just start with that one, why is the euro collapsing? Why is it collapsing? And then you add in the GBP, which is also collapsing. And I'm going to switch my charts, and I know it's a little distance, but you'll see this same movement here. And I'm going to walk you through it, because why is this important? Because a lot of traders like to trade reversal patterns. They like to trade when it hits support and resistance levels, supply and demand zones, and stuff like that. Technical analysis, the basic technical analysis. Problem is, a lot of people are getting wiped completely out because price action is not respecting it. And if you agree to that, please type a number 10 in the box if you know that it happened to you on the last 2 weeks, over the last 2 weeks, or somebody you know. Please type a number 10 while I'm switching charts. I want you guys to see this. So I know my camera is from a little bit of distance, but I'm going to go to the GBP NZD, same thing, okay? I'm going to go to the GBP AUD, same thing. You see this? Collapsing. It came within our 4-hour box right here. And for those who have simplicity, I know you've been killing it. I know one of the students during class, he said he was up about 300-400 pips or something like that. I forgot what it was. But he took the arrow off the 4-hour time frame on GBP NZD, and it just did a complete collapse, rainfall, and he's been holding the position. So that's great for those who have the system. For those who don't, you just need to know what's going on, because you're trying to catch it saying, okay, now it should be reversing because it's hitting a Fibonacci level. It should be reversing because it's hitting this level, it's hitting that level, and it's just completely blowing through the normal levels that it would respect. What the freaking heck is going on, right? That's the question you're asking. Well, let me clarify. Think about it like this, and I want to step back and let's take a picture at the war itself, okay? Let's take a picture of the war itself so then you can begin to understand what is going on. And by the way, for all you price action people who tried to embarrass me, say I don't know nothing about what I'm talking about, where are you at now? Because I told you, price action is okay, but it cannot be king, because price action represents action on price. Reverse the words and you'll understand the concept. It's an action that is being taken on the price. So therefore, when something is causing the price to move, people take actions on it. So price action is not the king. It is very important, but it is not king. And this right here is proving it. So what is actually king? Having a little bit of knowledge of what will impact that price will cause it to have its actions. So now let's talk about it. Fundamentals is really, you don't have to be the be all end all of knowing what fundamentals mean and all that. You don't have to know all that. But at some point you have to say that, okay, this has to play some part, because right now it's blown through all levels. It's blown through all support and resistance. It's blown through all technical analysis that I've ever learned and done. And still this thing is dropping like a rock. So then you have no choice but to ask yourself the question, why? Glad you asked. So let's take a look at it like this. Right now, they're putting sanctions on Russia, and that's supposed to slow them down or intimidate them to stop their barrage of attacks and bullying on the country of Ukraine. Are you with me so far? Follow the story and then you'll begin to understand this. So in essence, that is their thought process. But has it worked? No. But in addition to that, I'm not saying it's not going to work in time, but in addition to that, here's what you have to think. These European countries, Germany, European unions, and even the West, called the United States, are all doing business and buying goods and services, mainly oil and fuel, from who? The very person they're trying to sanction it from. So on one hand, you're trying to tell them, we're going to take your goods, your $600 or something billion, we're going to take it. But on the backside, what they're not telling the public is that we're giving the money right back to you because we have to buy our oil and goods from you. So we're taking it on the front, but we're paying you on the back. So Russia still ain't broke. So throwing all these sanctions out there, trying to intimidate them on the front end when you still got to buy my stuff on the back end, where am I really coming at a loss? And as a result of that, think about it, and you can check your own charts. Now, again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving a financial advice. I'm just walking you through the story that is playing out in Uncle P's head. I don't want nobody locking my accounts. I ain't taking sides. I ain't saying Russia was wrong or Russia is right. I ain't saying that the United States is wrong. I ain't saying nothing about that. So leave my accounts alone. I'm just walking through as an investor in the Forex market who's trying to make some money. I'm trying to make sure this story is making sense so I'll know which way to trade this week coming up. Come on now, in Jesus' name, this is some truth. Because you know, if you say the wrong thing in Russia, they can lock you up for 15 years. If you say the wrong thing in Canada, they can freeze your accounts and take your cars and this and that. See, it's total chaos and control. So I'm just telling you, I'm not taking sides, disclaimer. I'm just sharing with you guys what's in my head. So when I look at the charts this week, I can have a comprehensive understanding of what I need to do as an investor in the Forex market. Can you guys type it amen? So I have confirmation of what I just said. In case anybody come after me at the end of this video, I can have confirmation that this is what I threw out there, that I ain't taking sides. I'm just sharing my thoughts so I can figure out the best way to trade. Come on now, this is some truth. And it's going to get deeper. It's going to get deeper in my thoughts. So now, it's like I'm coming in to your neighborhood, punking you and your neighborhood, talking about I'm taking over your neighborhood. And you say, well, guess what? We ain't going to buy no more groceries from your grocery store. Well, let me rephrase that. I come in, I say, I'm going to take over your neighborhood. You say, we're going to sanction you and we're going to strike on you. But then Big Mama says, baby, we out of bread. And I'm the only grocery store around. So on the one hand, y'all out in front of my store striking with your signs, but you're sending baby kid into the store to buy the bread from me. So do I really care that you're out front of my store pitching a fit when I know you're going to come right back in that store and buy my bread and that milk from me? I don't care. So you're not intimidating me. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's equivalent to them saying we're going to sanction Russia, but we're going to buy their oil. And in essence, watch this. Watch this. Oil is up over 100. Last time, hold on. Let me check the charts. Charts don't lie. As of Friday, you can see it right here. I know it's in the distance, but you can see it peaked out at the top. This is the 4-hour time frame. Go to your 4-hour charts and check it yourself. It's at $113 a barrel. In other words, I'm the one selling the oil to you. So you sanctioned me on the front end, but you got to pay me on the back end. All I'm going to do is just raise my price then, and I'll recoup the losses. What? How is this making sense? And you proudly saying that you're going to stop the tyrant when you got to come back and pay them for their goods and services. And what makes it worse, in my opinion, is that you're paying them for something that you got in your own backyard. But you say, I don't, I don't want to turn the dirt and mess up the way my lawn looks. So I'll rather pay the tyrant the higher prices as opposed to just digging up to get the carrots and goods out of my own backyard. So what is going to stop the tyrant? Nothing. As a result, watch this. As a result, they're charging higher prices, and the business that you're doing with the tyrant is now affecting your own currency. That's part of the reason why the euro is now going downhill. The GBP is going downhill. So for those who's trying to trade it, I'm warning you, you might want to take small plays on pullbacks, but don't look for long-term reversals to the upside until this war is figured out, because they're losing money too. How? Because they have to pay more for the goods and services from the enemy they have to buy it from. Now, in my opinion, Russia just took over Ukraine's 2 of their 3, and I think I'm right, do your own research, 2 of their 3 nuclear plants, which also provides what? Energy, electricity, heat to the European Union. So now by Russia taking over that, at first you was just buying their oil. Now they took over the nuclear plants. That's even more energy that you got to buy from them, the very person you're trying to sanction, which is going to cost you and your people more. So you can't raise your economy when everything that you're paying out to the enemy is being. Does this make sense to anybody but me? If this makes sense to you, can type a 20 in the box. I'm just walking through thoughts in my head. And meanwhile, you have a huge country over here who can easily just turn on their own stuff. I know you got a cute backyard, but right now we ain't worried about that. I know you worry about the environment and stuff like that, but right now ain't the time to worry about that. Because you can easily slow this madness down by turning on the spigots, and then you sell to the European Union. You make the killing, because oil is still $113 a barrel. But instead of them buying it for their enemy, they can buy it from you. Now you're making billions of dollars, becoming wealthier in a healthy way that saves the world, because now they no longer have to depend on the tyrant to get their goods and services. And now possibly those sanctions that we're trying to throw out to the public and make everybody feel good will actually work, because right now you're sanctioning them on the front end, but you're paying them on the back end. But if you go to a whole different source, you ain't paying them nothing. So now the sanctions may actually work because you stripped them on the front end and you're not buying nothing from the back end. Now they're broke. Come on now. Do you guys understand? Do you understand, especially my students who will be watching this and those who are watching this now, do you now understand? I keep telling you guys, all these classes you've attended live with me. Now, do you understand why I keep trying to tell you guys, stop being so politically charged in your head? The middle class is so politically charged in their head until you can't tell them nothing. And it's impacting you. Think about it. And this is what really pisses me off. They talking about they're going to sanction these oligarchs and these billionaires. You think them people just put all their money in one place and you going to take, they just going to let you take their money and then they just broken? You got to be freaking kidding me. It sounds good. But do you really think that's going to happen? That they just going to go instantly broke from being multi-billionaires? No, come on now. Come on. And meanwhile, it sounds good to the middle class because we want vengeance, and we do. We want this to stop. But in essence, who does it really impact? All of this stuff that's going on, who does it really impact? The middle class. And therefore, the middle class is the one who's being affected by high oil prices. Oh, what? Oh, I ain't got the gold yet. We're going to get to that. And the AUD. Because some of you guys are trying to wait for the AUD to drop, and it keeps going up anyway. So I wanted to know why. Why is the AUD going up when it should have dropped a long time ago and it's blowing people's accounts? By the way, caveat, you might want to just trade with the trend for a little while. You remember I did a video, the trend is your friend until it hit peak levels? That is true under normal circumstances. This is not normal circumstances. The world is in complete chaos, and therefore some countries are benefiting greatly from this war while others are suffering from this war. Are you guys understanding what I'm saying? I'm going to say it again. Some countries are benefiting from this war while other countries are suffering from this war. And that's the reason why currencies are way out of their normal levels. AUD, in my opinion, is tied to gold. So the further up gold goes, the further up the AUD is going. That's the reason why the AUD should have dropped a long time ago, and it hasn't, in addition to them talking about their interest rates and stuff like that. But the point is that I'm trying to ask you guys to be careful when you're trading, not to do so much leaning on the typical technical analysis, which normally works. But in this situation, it's a fluid situation. And until the war settles out, we don't know. Let me tell you a little bit more. On Friday, now we had many discussions, especially my students, about the Feds talking about they're going to raise interest rates. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Okay. This is on the federal level. And this applies on the federal level. Of course, it's going to apply on a daily trend of trading for the Forex traders. So follow me on this. So at first, the Feds were talking about raising interest rates, right? To at least, 50 basis points, okay? Or half a percent or whatever you want to call it, right? That's what they were talking about. But because of this war, they may still have to raise interest rates, but not as fast. So do you see how everything is in turmoil? And you can't go by the basic way that you normally do things because this ain't normal. Hello. So if you're going to try to trade these peak levels, high of the days, low of the days, yes, I studied the market makers method for a couple of years. I understand high of the day, low of the day, M's and W pattern. I get all that. But right now, the charts ain't respecting it because they're in complete chaos. So if you do get one of these trade setups, I'm just cautioning you, take what you can get and get out on reversal trades. Because right now, the AUD has still kept on climbing. And it may. I don't know what's going to happen this week. I'm not Nostradamus. I wish I was. If I was, I would literally do a video and tell everybody, here's where you need to know. Trade this, trade this, trade this. And we all will become multimillionaires overnight because we will know exactly what to trade. But nobody knows the future. But what we can do is get clues from what just happened. And because the war has not subsided and it seems to be intensifying, here's what I mean. Right before I came to do this video, I saw something that came out saying that the NATO has authorization to start sending planes over Ukraine. Now, I haven't had time to confirm that or whatever. You can do that yourself. But if that's the case, we're potentially looking at it could pull the world into World War III, because now NATO, which means the US and all these other countries, are now going to be pulled into this war. It was just Ukraine and Russia, but now if they did authorize that, that means that the US is now going to be pulled into a world war, which could trigger bigger problems if Russia or their leader, I ain't even gonna say his name, because he's jailing people for 15 years for saying something wrong about him. But if the leader over there decides he wants to go off with nuclear, now we got an even bigger problem. Do you guys understand what I'm telling you? The world is in complete chaos at the moment, so you cannot just look at the charts with the typical technical analysis. When these things are falling, we don't know how much further they're going to fall. Why? Because of the war. So if you are going to take reversal trades, saying, okay, it's at this level, I'm going to start taking it at this level. On the daily time frame, it's at the 50% retracement level. On the daily time frame, it's at the 38.2. It's at the, okay, you can say all that. But I'm just cautioning you. Take small trades. If it works out, take it to the pull up. But I think that what it's been doing, which it's been doing small pullbacks and then dropping again. Small pullbacks and dropping again. So whatever blessing you get on the small pullbacks, I wouldn't hold the trade against the overall trend that you clearly see is in play. Okay, so for an example, if I'm going to sell oil, and now here's what a good example of what I mean. Looking at my charts right here, okay, you can kind of see it. Let me see. Oh, that's too much. Okay, hold on. Nope, too much. Okay, well, forget it. I was trying to show y'all this chart right here, because right here on the 4 hour, if you go to your charts, and I'm trying to teach you how to do this on your own, okay? I'm trying to teach you how to do this on your own. Go to your charts and go to the 4 hour time frame, and you will see, especially if you have simplicity, it's just a no-brainer. You can clearly see it's doing a double top. Okay, double top at $113 a barrel on oil, US oil. So go to your charts when this is over and look at it yourself. I do see that it's doing a double top on the 4 hour time frame. Normally for me, this is just me. Normally for me, when you're doing a double top on the 4 hour time frame, oh my God, I'm getting ready to kill it. What? All right, let me give y'all an example. Remember I did a video about 2-3 weeks ago for y'all, and I told y'all about the triple T. You remember? Triple time frame confirmations. Look at GBPNZD now, because that was one of the ones that I gave y'all an example. Y'all could have been made you plenty of money off of that one. GBPNZD, go back and look at triple T, the video I did called the triple T. When this is over, go back and look at that video. You will clearly see that I had told you. I told you that this was an example of what a triple T looks like. Now, when I use a triple T means triple time frame confirmations. Tapping off of my resistance levels, off of my red levels, which you can see the red levels in the picture. You tapping off my red levels on the daily time frame, tapping off them red levels on the 4 hour time frame, and I drop down to the 15-minute and I look for a hot entry. I told y'all that, and I gave you the GBPNZD, and I told you that. I told you. Matter of fact, watch this. There it is. Look at that rainfall. I told y'all that in the video. I gave it to you. I told you in advance. So don't say you ain't have a chance to make no money watching my videos for free. Okay? But here's the problem with oil. I'm going to go to oil, and you can see it in the distance. Now I'm going to go to the daily, and I literally see it's touching at this is the daily. You can see it in the distance. It's literally touching and retesting on the daily at the very top. Okay? I'm going to drop down to the 4 hour. and I see the potential M pattern being developed. I liked the oil's setup. It's looking stupid sexy. Cha-ching, cha-ching, baby. It's looking good. But here's the problem, people. With the war going on, Russia is controlling a lot of the oil that the European Union, now watch this. Let me kind of give you guys one more thing to put this whole war perspective together so you'll understand what really happened. Because some of you guys don't know what's really happening. When they talk about the SWIFT, SWIFT system, and they were saying we're going to kick Russia off the SWIFT system. That's their form of payment where they do transactions for oil, right? America was in a rush to do it, but the European Union was a little bit hesitant. Why? Because they're dependent on Russia to get a lot of their oil. So they was like, we can sanction everybody and everything else, but let's hold up on that one, player. Okay, let's hold up. Hold on here. Slow down. Eventually, it had no choice. But the point is, every move that they're making is also impacting them. So now with this trade setup, and watch it, don't say I didn't tell you. Now with this trade setup, will I be willing to enter in on this trade setup here? You bet your bottom dollar I like the way it looks. But is it a trade setup that I will feel comfortable going full force in the middle of this war, knowing that Russia is currently controlling the energy for the European Union in a sense? So at any time where they feel affected, he can just jack them prices up even more. Do you think I'm 100% confident with this trade now? Yes or no? We have people listening now. Please give me an answer. Yes or no? Do you think this is a confident trade setup that I should feel 100% and go full force on? Yes or no? What would you do? What would you do? All right, there you go. I'm seeing the answers coming in the chat. No. Now you get what I'm trying to warn you about when some of you guys are out here taking trades against the AUD, against the NZD, against the GBP, against the Euro. You understand what I'm saying? You cannot take it at face value. You can't go full force like you normally can because, yes, price action setups, the setups look perfect, but they're under the influence of a war. So at any time, it can spike through these levels. So you have no choice but to trade. I'm not telling you not to take trade setups when you see them, but what I am telling you is take them with small positions so that you're not blowing your account talking about, well, this trade, this setup looked perfect, Uncle Pay. Oh, what happened, Uncle Pay? Oh my God, Uncle Pay, I blew another account. Well, that's on you, baby, because I told you don't do that. It wasn't that the price action and the setup didn't look perfect. Oil, this setup is absolutely perfect. Oh my God, this is the exact setup that I saw on GBP NZD when I did the Triple T video. It's the same exact setup. And now look at GBP NZD. That thing dropped. Hold on. It's the exact same setup. Exact same setup. Okay? Off the top on the fold, off the top on the daily. And now if you would have took that trade when I sent you that video, you should be up at least 900 pips. If you took that one trade from the time I did that video 2 or 3 weeks ago, you will already be up 900 pips on just the GBP NZD trade because of the Triple T setup that I told you about. Go back and look at the video. The evidence is still there. I didn't lie. You can check your own charts and compare to what you see today. And oil has the exact pretty kind of setup. Double topping, it's retesting off the daily, double topping up off that 4 hour, and yet I still don't feel 100% confident this time. Why? Because oil is under high manipulation. Matter of fact, and I'm not a Trump fan, I'm not a Biden fan, I'm not a Trump fan, I don't care nothing about politics. But when somebody's talking and telling some truth, they're telling the truth. So I was listening the other day, and they were interviewing Trump, or he was doing his speech. No, he was being interviewed on what his perspective was about oil prices. And here's what he said, and I actually have to agree with him. He said that there's no cap on it because right now, as long as Russia's running the show, they can raise the prices to whatever level they want. See, there's no cap on oil prices. So right now, oil can go, and some people are anticipating that oil can shoot all the way up to what? $150 a barrel. And he was asked, well, what do you think? He said it can go all the way up to $200 a barrel. See, because of who's controlling it, they can do what they want with it. And then they went to the Arabs, Saudi Arabia, not Saudi Arabia, but I forgot what they call it. But anyway, they went to the Arabs to talk about, well, can you help out by supplying additional oil at cheaper prices? They're like, heck no. For what? We're benefiting big off this. Because if you don't want to buy it from them, you got to buy it from us. Why would I set my prices at a discount when it's hot and when it's at an all-time high demand? So they're making untold billions of dollars. Do you understand what I'm saying? Are y'all getting what I'm selling you? Oh my God, this is crazy. It's absolutely nuts. And who's taking the beat down? It's the middle class people with all the opinions about their political sides. You're the one who's got to figure out how to pay your higher gas prices to get to your job to put food on your table. Rich people ain't tripping. Yeah, come on. The rich people ain't tripping. You can say what you want. They're not paying they don't care. They're rich. It's you who's struggling to take care of your family, and you keep buying into what you're being told from both sides. See, that's why I don't like politics, because they lie. Both sides tell lies, whatever, to keep their, what they call their base, voting for them. And I'm looking at it for what it is. The middle class people are taking a beating at the pump. And you are all, one person said this, and I know I'm getting off topic, and I'll get back on it and I'll close out. The Bible says the truth will set you free. I said for years that I would add a caveat. I said that the truth will set you free if you receive it. Too many people are trying to fight against the truth. And I'm one of those, I'm just going to accept the truth for what it is. It is the truth. So here's the point. The average person, somebody said on an interview, they said the average person, average family who's already struggling, just coming out of COVID, they don't even have $500 to $1,000, let alone $2,000 extra in their savings for emergencies. They don't even have that. And yet they're going to end up paying over $1,000 extra in fuel costs this year. And that can climb higher. And yet they're the ones with all the opinions about your political this and your political that and why you voted for this. And you're the very ones who are going to pay regardless of who's in power. And so while they're manipulating you to get you to believe their story so you can vote for them again, your family is the one that's suffering over what rich people decisions are being made. Do you understand So for me, I bypass all that. I don't care about a political Republican, Democrat. I don't care. I'm looking at what's going on. And I see that people who have the power are making poor choices right now on both sides, on many sides. And in the end, it's costing the average person. Whether you live in Ukraine and being forced out, or whether you're here in the US and you're paying extra money at the pump and for your groceries, everything about your daily life that you set a budget for, now you got to recalculate your budget. And now, for those who's trading in the market saying, well, I'm going to make some money in the markets. Well, the problem is you're still trying to use the usual methods and it ain't working, which means more money is coming out of your home than going in it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what I can advise you to do is when you see a trade setup, that's fine. Take it with a small position because you can't trust it right now. Until this war is over, until things subside. And I will tell you this, here's what I'm looking for. I don't mind taking small trades, I'm good. I don't mind. I had a fabulous week last week personally. I'm not gonna lie, I had a fabulous week. But here's the truth. When the war subsides, and it will at some point, all wars subside. That's why you can go back in history and you see that every war that ever took place, at some point it subsided. It made some lasted longer than others, but nevertheless, they did have their brevity and they did subside at some point. When the war does subside at some point, that is what I'm waiting on. Here's the reason why. Oh, by the way, I got to tell y'all about Warren Buffett too. Don't let me forget that. Okay. What I'm looking at is that when the war subside, all of these way too far overextended sell-offs in certain currencies, like the euro, like the GBP, like AUD that went just it went what they call it went viral. We'll just say it went viral, okay? Or it went, I don't want to use the word, they say, oh, it went nuclear. I don't want to use that word because we're scared that we might be going into a nuclear war. So I don't want to use that example. Cha-ching, cha-ching, baby, cha-ching, cha-ching, okay? But it went viral, okay? So the AUD went viral. Gold went viral, okay? The euro collapsed and it's still collapsed. Parabolic. Thank you, James. That's a better way of saying it. Yeah, parabolic, okay? It went parabolic. It shot up to the moon, baby, right? Due to unnatural causes. Hear what I'm saying. The market is doing moves off of unnatural causes. But when the unnatural influence is gone, price has to come back to its norms. I have to be patient and wait. Because when it does snap back to its norms, you're talking about massive moves in the market. Massive opportunity to make a lot of money. So that means the euro snaps all the way back up to clean back up all them losses. The GBP shoots back up to its normals. The AUD drops to its are you guys getting what I'm saying? Gold drops back to its normals because there is what they call a median, which means a balance, a middle area, a normal level that these things typically run in between. And the higher the time frame you go to, the more you be able to see it, okay, on your charts. You can go to your daily, weekly, monthly, whatever, and you'll see that the average time, let me give you an example, okay? I was showing my wife, she actually is a writer, she's an author, she does speaking, she does all these other things, so she doesn't trade in the markets. But we were sitting on the couch and I actually showed her the chart so she can see and kind of get an understanding. Now, again, I'm not into politics, so please don't beat me up. I'm not trying to take sides on who's the best president. That ain't the point. I'm just simply going to show you guys so that you'll have homework. When I'm done with this video, you'll be able to see this for yourself. Before President Biden took office, when we were mining, I'm using crypto terms, when we were mining our own oil out of our backyard, go to your own charts and you will see that the medium average price at that time for oil got brought down to about $40, $43 a barrel. That was the medium, okay? That was the average. Sometimes it would spike up, sometimes it would spike down during COVID, but when it came back and recalibrated itself, it came back to the 40, 43 level, okay? You can go to your own charts and verify this. So when COVID hit, prices of oil completely dropped because nobody needed it. Nobody was traveling. Remember, we was on lockdown. Who needs oil during that time? Nobody. We were on lockdown. Then all of a sudden things reopened, it shoots back up, but then averaged back out and it came to a normal level of about $40, $43 a barrel, right? In 2020, I'm telling you, go to your own charts. October 2020. You begin to see that's when the presidential election was going on, going into December. You will see at that point, it started climbing out of its medium level. And from the daily time frame, you'll see that oil never came back to the medium because it was no longer normal. Why? Because we started cutting off our own oil supply, which means we had to start doing what? Buying it from somebody else. And when that happened, oil never came back to its natural level of the 40s. And now, because of the war, it topped out at 113 as of Friday. I wouldn't be surprised if it spikes on today when the market reopens. It could. That's why I'm not trusting what I'm seeing on my charts. So all my technical analysis, price action king people, do you understand what I'm trying to teach you? It's nothing wrong, and I don't fight you that price action is very important. But at some point, this is teaching you, the charts right now is teaching you that price action absolutely is not king. You have no choice but to bring in a little bit of knowledge of what the overall market is doing that's influenced the price action itself. Because when you take price action, I'm going to teach you and I'm going to close this out and I'm going to talk about Warren Buffett and I'm done. When you talk about price action, as I teach my students in class, you have to reverse those words. It is not price action, it's action being taken on the price. I'm going to repeat that. It is action that is taken on the price. You don't believe me? When you see a certain entry point, you take action on the price to enter the trade. Do you not? See, it ain't price taking action of its own accord. It's somebody taking action on the price level. So therefore, there's an influence that happens when things reach a certain level. And right now, the war has the influence on the market. So price ain't acting within its normal levels. So that teaches you, you got to know a little bit something about what's going on in these countries. If you don't, you're going to keep blowing accounts. Come on now. This is good information. And I wasn't taught this when I was back in the day struggling. The people was leave that alone. Let me get to Warren Buffett and I'm done. The reason why this is so important to me, and it should become important to you, just to learn a little something about what's going on in these countries before you start tampering, placing trades on their currencies. It's important for you to know a little something. Warren Buffett is brilliant. And this just hit me yesterday or day before yesterday. I'm like, oh my freaking God. Now, for my students who come to class, I told y'all months ago, before this war, didn't even know there was going to be a war. But months ago, we looked at the charts and did we not talk about the market is going to collapse? I even notified some people. I say, hey, people who I know have larger means. I said, you really want to start making some adjustments to your portfolio because the market is about to collapse. I said that before we knew anything about a war, whatever. I even mentioned it, I believe, in one of my YouTube videos here. I don't take my videos down, so you can always check to verify what I'm telling is true. I said this in advance. I'm not Nostradamus, but I'm just know what I'm looking at, and I just trust what I see because the charts will tell me the truth. So I had warned people that the market is going to collapse. It was shooting all-time highs. As a matter of fact, you know what? I know I did because I told y'all. I said, boy, people like to argue with me. And that's why the God is telling me, Pat, shut your mouth and just let them do their thing and the truth will be revealed. Okay? So for everybody who didn't agree with me, I told y'all, especially you guys who come to class, I told you. I said, how could this market be making astronomically brand new highs in the market when the companies ain't making profit, real profit? They're getting stimmy checks from the government. And the moment the government takes the stimmy checks, how are they going to show profitability? Didn't I say that? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I said any little thing gonna knock it off because it was a scam. It was a global scam. Record profits, record highs in the markets, all this stuff was going on. And meanwhile, there was a simple, watch this, and this is for people who like to trade in the markets, in the stock market and options. Here's what you need to learn. There's a simple free indicator that will help you understand when you need to be a little bit careful. Y'all want to know what the secret is? If you want to know what the secret is, we got a few people tuning in. I know thousands will watch us later. But for the few people listening in, type a 1 in the box if you want to know what the secret indicator is. If you trade, if you want to know how to kind of predict the tops of the markets when it's time to start getting out and taking your money, if you got a 401k IRA, you want to call them up and say, hey, move my money to the sideline. You can't withdraw because they'll penalize you, but you can tell them take it out the markets, okay? Blah, blah, blah. But I'm not your financial advisor. Talk to financial advisor, okay? But here's my point. Okay, so y'all want to know what the free indicator is? Watch what rich people do with their portfolios. And you say, what do you mean by that? This is not an indicator you even need to buy, nothing you need to put on your charts. It's just pay attention. I told y'all, I said, Warren Buffett cleared his portfolio. I was like, wait a minute. The market is making record highs, and Warren Buffett is clearing his portfolio. Indicator number one. Microsoft, what's his name? Bill Gates, clearing his portfolio. Any of these rich people, just keep a watch on their portfolios. That's the best indicator. Looking at them, they all clearing their portfolio at the highs, but they were smart. Why? Buy low, sell what? High. When do most average working class retail traders jump into the market? At the high. Fear of missing out. FOMO. So you buying when they selling. And I'm looking at their portfolio, and I even warned one person in specific, and I told them, because I know they have big financial means, and I told them, hey, you want to get your stuff in order. Jesus, this ain't the time to get it and clear. Because I said, I see they doing something. Watch this. Watch this. And I'll close with this. Look at what Warren Buffett bought. Warren Buffett invested millions of dollars into this gold company. He did that long time ago, months ago, cleared his portfolio of most of that other stuff and started buying into this gold company. And everybody was talking about it. Chatter, talking heads on TV. Did you see the price of gold as of Friday? As James said, it went parabolic. It went viral. It went stupid crazy. Did you see the price of gold? Come on now, hold up. Gold shot up. Look, and it dropped, and you can see it right here on my chart. You can see the retest. See the two horns? Y'all can see the two horns from a distance. It dropped, but shot right back up, and it's retesting that level of $1,968. This was before the war, before any of this stuff. They get information long before we do. So they start making moves in the markets long before the average person do. I know what the politicians say to you, but look at what the rich people do. See, I don't care what they're saying in front of the microphones, because that's for the average person who don't want to think for themselves. They just want somebody to tell them what to think. But for you guys who are market investors, it is your job to look beyond what you're being told and to look at what the markets are telling you. That man was smart as I don't know what. Look at the median price. And I'm going to highlight this, and I know it's kind of far in the distance, but I'm going to highlight this in yellow. Y'all see that yellow line? Y'all see that yellow? This was its medium range. And I'm on the 4-hour time frame. You can do this yourself. Going all the way back to October. And I can go further back, but you'll see it was ranging in this little range in the 1800s area, dropped down typically to the 17. It was staying up in there. But even from this camera, because I'm looking to see in the view, y'all see, you can see it yourself. It was staying within this. But oh my God. Do you think he knew something that we didn't know? Why would you clear your portfolio and then start investing into a gold company? Is the man brilliant now? You're freaking right. That man was smart as I don't know what. Now, what political side is he on? Does it matter? No, because he's looking at the truth for what it is. And this is what this video is about. I'm getting you to look at the truth for what it is. Because the truth will set you free. And part of this trading for some of you guys, you're going to increase your winning percentage just by listening to this video. To sum up this video, what am I saying? I have warned you. I don't know what the future holds, but I do know that a lot of these currency pairs are not acting normal. We can all agree to that. That's fine. So if we know that they're not acting normal, when we see these setups, I'm not telling you not to take the trades, okay? Because a lot of traders are reversal traders, okay? And for those who have the simplicity system, like we talked about over and haven't I not been teaching you for the last several months about the D1s and the D15s, the strategy that my son told you to help you learn to stay with the trend, okay? And did it not pay off for many of you guys? Yes. It ain't always time to reversal trade. Sometimes you got to pass some things up, or take a little bit something, whatever it gives, and then don't hang on to it. Or if you're going to, let me say this, and I'll say this. For me, if one of the things I like to do, if I'm going to do reversal trades, and I'll leave you with this tip, okay? Because there are going to be some opportunities for reversal pullbacks. It's going to happen, okay? So I'm not saying ignore them. But one of the things I do, if I don't know if it's going to be a permanent pullback or not, there's two things you can do. One of them I'll share with my students, but the other one I will share with you guys here, okay? Okay. Here's one thing you can do. You can enter two positions at the exact same time. And you can give both of those positions the same exact stop loss level. Hear me good. Don't say you didn't learn nothing from me. You're going to enter two positions at the exact same time, and both will have the exact same stop loss level. But the first position will be your larger position. The second position will be what I call the runner, the smaller position. So let's say that you got a $100 account. You enter the first position with a 0.2, and you put the stop loss in place. You enter the second position at a 0.1, same stop loss as the first. But here's the difference. The first one, whatever your stop loss level, you can make it a 1-to-1 risk ratio. So if you're using a 30 pip stop loss, you can set the take profit on the first position to 30 pips. Therefore, if price is reversing and it is a legitimate reversal, it will come back and hit the first take profit and lock you in some money. Now, your second position, you do not have a take profit level on it because you don't know if the price action can continue to run. It can continue to keep on going. And meanwhile, you can just keep moving your stop loss up a little bit as price is moving up. You can move it manually, or you can use what they call a trailing stop. And if you're in my class, I can always teach you how to do that. Or there may be a YouTube video on how to put in a trailing stop, okay? But you can do that in your MT4 and it can trail by a certain number of pips, okay? Either way it goes, the second one, you don't know how far a price action may reverse. So if you want to do it that way, that would be, in my opinion, the safest way to go about it, okay? Therefore, at least you locked in something in your portfolio. You got some money, but don't take one position and keep it going. And then it gave you 20 pips or so. And I'm already warning you, don't trust these setups because they could be doing a short pullback before another drop, such as you've seen multiple times on the Euro, the GBP, and so forth. Okay. So don't trust it. Don't think that, oh, this is at a level, it's so low, it should be pulling back huge. Not yet until the war is over. So take some pips, close out the first one. The second one, if it comes back and hits your little stop loss at break even or something, who cares? At least you got something in your pocket. Type of amen if you understand what I'm saying, please. I know we got a few people listening now, thousands will watch this later, but I just want to make sure you guys are getting what I'm saying. When you're trading in dangerous waters, this is the safest way to trade if you're trying to say, maybe it could go further. See, don't let greed take you over to the point where you're just being silly with your trades. You got one trade open and you're making a mess. Because when you had some profits in your pocket, you were trying to be greedy. So I'm teaching you how you can do it. Open up two positions. You can even do two positions at the same amount. If you got a $100 account, one position is set at 0.01. Got a 20 or 30 pip stop loss to whatever your stop loss is, you make it your take profit the same, and you have a 1-to-1 risk ratio. The first one gets hit, praise God. Now the second one is still running because you don't know how far it could go, but at least you lock down something. But what do the average retail trader do? They put on one position that's too big for their portfolio, called over leveraging. When it moved up, they all excited. When London comes and does its normal stop hunt, it takes out that position, wipes you completely out, and you had 20 pips in your pocket, but you didn't want that. Why? Because I think this thing can go up another 200, Uncle Pete. I think it can go. All right. And then they just took everything that you had. Because you're a poor money manager. You're a poor financial manager. Because you're letting your greed kick in and you're not using logic. I have done this video. This video is almost a whole hour, and I meant to have it just 15 minutes. But for almost a whole hour, I've been preaching to you about what's going on in the how the war should be looked at and how it's impacting the markets. And now you understand this is not the time to try to be greedy on a reversal setup. If you're going to play the reversals, it's fine, but don't trust it. Well, it's at this level. Don't trust it. How many levels have it already broken through? Because it doesn't care about levels. When the market is in chaos, it does not care about your freaking levels. It doesn't care about your supply and demand zones. It doesn't care about your support and resistance. It can kiss your butt, the market is saying, kiss my behind with your trend line. It doesn't care because it's not ran at this point off of fundamentals. It's being ran off of fear. So you must use wisdom when you're trading. Okay? I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you. My pullback trades, yeah, I take them things with a grain of salt, take my money, and I'm out. And then I wait for the pullback. As soon as I see a setup, I'll take it to the downside. Why? Because you ain't finished. I had a very good week myself personally last week. Because I'm understanding how this market it doesn't want to do the normal thing. And if that's the case, here's my philosophy. Who am I to argue with the market? If you want to keep going this way, okay, cool. No problem. You show a setup for a pullback? All right, I'll take it. But I ain't going to trust it. I'll take what I can get. Keep it moving. Okay? All right. I'm going to close this video out. If this video was helpful, thank you for spending time with me. I will say this, please, 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 please hit the like and subscribe button so that other traders, again, I don't monetize my channel, so I'm not asking you to do this so I can get money off of it because I don't monetize my channel. But it does help YouTube to know that this content was worthwhile watching to help other retail traders to not get duped and keep blowing their accounts. So please hit the like and subscribe button. I will really appreciate that. And please share the video if you like it and you know somebody needs to hear this information. You've been trying to tell their hard head behind for the longest, but it just sounds better coming from a third party called Uncle Pete. All right. Last but not least, if you do want to join our family, and I will be teaching class on Tuesday. So if you want to join the Super Easy Forex family, just go to www.superezforex.com and click on the join button. By the way, last but not least, I forgot to get a report on last week as far as the signals. If you want to join the signal service, I'll always try to keep you guys up to speed. There was 10 wins, 4 losses, and 1 break even on the signals. And in the scalping group, they did 5,825 pips in the scalping group, okay, which is, you get signals is one thing, but then they also have a scalping group, all that's encompassed in the signal service. So in Miss Jenny's group, they did over 5,800 pips. Yeah, see, there you go. Thank you, Dora. See, I don't make stuff up. I don't need to. See, somebody who's there, they know. Yeah, she killed it. 5,800 pips. Why? Because they scalped. And so if you want to learn to be a scalper, Signal service is open to you, and there you go. Okay, you guys, have a great weekend. I'm finna go on a date with my wife. You guys go enjoy your day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cha-ching, cha-ching.